You're listening to PetLifeRadio.com.
Welcome to Bark and Swagger on Pet Life Radio. I'm your host, Jody Miller-Young, and today we have a guest that I think can really help us with a problem that most of us share. Do you love to travel? I know I do. What about discovering an easy solution to storing those bulky suitcases that's simple, fashionable, and you don't have to compromise on roomy pieces that fit it all? That sounded pretty good to me, because I travel with my dogs, and it's always a challenge fitting everything we want to take with us so the pups are comfortable when they're away from home. There are the travel bowls, the sleep mats, the food, the toys. I mean, the list goes on and on. So when I turned on Shark Tank one Friday night and I learned about this first-of-its-kind luggage that folds up for easy storage and saw it was roomy and stylish, I thought, this is something I can use, and maybe you could too. Can you relate? If you live in an apartment or are space challenged in any way, or you have better things to do in terms of the space you're currently devoting to luggage, I'm sure you can. So I asked the founder and CEO of Biaggi Luggage, Stephen Hersh, to come on the show and talk with us about his products, his own travel with his two dogs. He has a great tip for a destination for us, and how we can enter a giveaway to win a free luggage of our own. So before we meet Stephen, we're going to take a short break from our sponsor, grab your favorite beverage, get cozy, and we'll be right back.
We'll be right back after a short pause.
At Red Barn, our pet food ingredients work overtime. They aren't just there for show. Dandelion greens work to maintain a healthy digestive system. Salmon oil works to enhance the immune system. Green-lipped mussels work to support joint health. These hard-working ingredients support your dog's active, healthy life. Look at the label. We want you to. Red Barn Naturals Pet Food. Simply the best. Find it in your local pet specialty store. Try our grain-free stews. The only pet food with Red Barn bully sticks.
Let's Talk Pets on PetLifeRadio.com.
Welcome back. You're listening to Bark and Swagger on Pet Life Radio. I'm your host, Jody Miller-Young, and we're here today with Stephen Hersh, founder and CEO of Biaggi Luggage, a great solution to ending bulky luggage that's tough to store. How are you, Stephen?
Hi, Jody. How are you? It's really good to be here with you.
Thank you so much. We're really happy to have you because I think a lot of us can relate to this challenge that we have. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I've pushed and shoved the luggage into whatever space I could find to store it. And I'm bummed about having to give that space up in the first place. Did you have an aha moment that preceded you creating this amazing product?
Yeah, well, I'm from Brooklyn, New York, and the houses in Brooklyn are, people generally either live in small apartments or in, houses that don't have a lot of space. And, I lived in such a house. And, luggage, I have a background in the bag business to begin with. So we were sitting around. It was me and my dad and our partner, and we figured that this is a problem that we could try solving. And, we just set out to do it and managed to figure it out.
But the idea of folding luggage and how to make that work, I mean, was there something that sparked that imagination in you, or it was just really the brainstorming session that you had?
Yeah, it was a brainstorming session, but it was also kind of a long history, making kind of innovative bags. We were the first ones who put a cell phone pocket on a woman's handbag, for example. So it was kind of more from a problem-solving point of view than of an aha moment. Although we did have that moment when we were, working on it and going through prototypes and samples. And, we obviously had that moment like any inventor will have with anything they invent. But the actual idea was more of coming from a problem-solving perspective.
Got it. Because, you grew up with a dad who created a very successful company by being really innovative. That's Rossetti, right?
Yeah, so Rossetti, my father started Rossetti, which is a global handbag brand. I started it from a kitchen table, and I remember it very well. I was a teenager. I wasn't like a young kid or anything like that. So, I remember the sacrifices that had to be made and, the time that he put into it. And Rossetti was the first, like I just said, to put a cell phone pocket on a bag. Rossetti was the first company to make a bag that has built-in organization. For me to explain it to you, I'll be explaining something that you've seen a million times before, but Rossetti was the first to actually do that.
That's
and
pretty
a number
incredible,
of other
Stephen. That is pretty incredible because, as you said, it's everywhere today and so useful, so helpful.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, very, very cool. The thing I also liked about this, because there's no other luggage that folds like yours, but there's functional luggage out there. For me, I guess I want it all. I want it to be functional and I want it to be cute. I want it to be stylish. Yeah. And I love that it came in these great colors and sizes and types. And, you guys have won awards and you've been all over the media. Tell us a little bit about what makes this luggage great, not only for traveling with us, but with our pets.
Yeah. So first of all, you hit the nail on the head. That you want to have it all. So, we come from a long history of making bags, and we're not going to make some gimmicky product that just, it's a folding piece of luggage. It's got to look great. It's got to, have great colors, great fabric, and we give you all of that. But specifically about pets, so, I wanted to talk about one of our product lines specifically because when I travel with my pets, I have a bag called a zip sack, which is it folds down into a tiny pouch, but it's a 4-wheel bag, but you can really stuff a ton of stuff in it. It's rugged. It's exactly what you would have in mind. When you think about traveling with your pets, you're not necessarily thinking of some real necessarily a typical suitcase. So our zip sack gives you a lot of the features of a regular suitcase, but also, it can fit all those bulky items that you're going to have to bring with you when you're traveling with your pets. When I travel with my pets, I always make sure to bring their beds even because, they're in a different place. For dogs, they could maybe even be a little disoriented with being in a hotel room, let's say, for example. So, those
it's a comfort zone. Yeah.
Exactly. So you need a suitcase that you can put their beds inside of it,
That's fantastic. That is fantastic. And we're going to talk later about how you can win your own piece of Biaggi luggage, which is very exciting. So when customers buy from you, tell us what can they expect when they choose a piece of luggage. Everything from how they decide what's best for them to what they're going to get.
So all the luggage that we make folds. That's our thing. We do not want your bag to take up space in your home. We wanted to, we like to say, our luggage is luggage that you're going to love when you're traveling, but you're also going to love it when you're not traveling, which is something that you really can't say about any other suitcase. And the reason you're going to love it when you're not traveling is because it's not going to be taking up space and creating clutter in your spare bedrooms, in your closets, in your garages, and basements. But the other thing that you could expect from all of our bags, regardless of the collection that you order from or that you buy, you could expect it to be a really high quality bag to begin with. And that comes from the history and that comes from the knowledge of different kinds of hardware and different kinds of fabric. And we really pay attention to detail, the right bag for the right customer. We have a lot of variety and different options. We have high-end fashion types of bags and all of them fold. So like, for example, we have bags with a full trolley system that still folds. We have a hinge system, a locking hinge mechanism in there. It's really quite creative, actually.
How easy is it to assemble and deassemble?
It's so easy. We do include instructions on the bag, but you don't really need that. Like, for example, our bags that have the trolley systems on them, so the bottom, it has 4 wheels, so the bottom has to be rigid. So how do we make something rigid that has 4 wheels on it folds? So that's what we use the hinge for. And we have, when you open the bag up, you see there's a lock, you unlock it, you pull this tab, and, you kind of just fold it until, you'll hear a click even. It's pretty cool.
That's really awesome. We're going to have pictures of some of the bags on the Bark and Swagger page of the Pet Life Radio site. And maybe if we can swing it, we'll get that little video of how to do it that you have on your site, Stephen, so people can actually see it. But otherwise, you can go to biaggi.com and check it out, and you'll see all of that on the site. So, as I said, I first discovered you and Biaggi when I was watching Shark Tank one night. And it's, as you must know, because you probably were a fan before you went on, or certainly you've watched episodes of Shark Tank before you went on. There's a thrill as a spectator in watching how regular people who are entrepreneurs are so courageous in the tank, because it is not an easy place to be. You got to deal with Lori, who is awesome. Tell us a little bit about what it was like auditioning to appear and then actually being on the show.
Yeah, so it is kind of nerve-wracking really for me, it was until I got in there. The most nerve-wracking part of it, first of all, was you really invest a lot of time trying to get on the show. 45,000 people applied to be on season 6 of Shark Tank, which is the season that I was on. Yeah, wow. And 105 of them, I think that's the number, 105 of them actually make it onto the air. So do the math. The chances of getting on are so slim. And not only that, but you could even go there and film and not be shown on TV. So that's another thing that you have to worry about. So there's a lot of preparation. It's a lot of work that goes into it. You have to show them that you could be entertaining as well as have a good story with your business, because after all, it is showbiz, it's TV. And then there's a lot of waiting around before, when you finally do get out there, they fly you out to LA, and there's a lot of waiting around, and there's a lot of, nerve-wracking moments. But for me, I'm sure everybody else has a different experience. Once I got in there and, I got a chance to, do my pitch and speak to them, I was totally calm.
You did a great job, Stephen. You did a great job. Because we've seen all kinds of people and breakdowns and all kinds of things. And you really did a really good job. What is it like working with Lori? How has she changed the game for Biaggi in the time that you've been working together?
So it's night and day for Biaggi since we're working with Lori. Lori is, they call her the queen of QVC, and they call her that for a reason, because she really is the queen of QVC. I mean, she goes on QVC with my bags, and she just blows them out. I mean, we've been on about 8 times now since we aired on Shark Tank, and working with Lori is a pleasure, because she Biaggi, we keep things small and simple, and it's not a corporate structure necessarily, and Lori's the same way. Lori works out of wherever she is. She doesn't have an office with a lot of people. It's kind of like dealing with a family member almost. If I need to talk to her, I find it very easy to reach her, which is shocking because she's so busy. She'll work till, sometimes I'll talk to her and it's midnight. And she's very hardworking. She cares a lot about all of the companies she invests with on Shark Tank. It's not fake. It's very real. I'm very good friends with a lot of the other people that have done deals with her. We get together sometimes. We do trade shows together. She makes her appearance. Everybody that deals with her that I know really loves her. And I love Lori. She's tremendous.
That is awesome. And she's an animal lover. She's a dog lover. I understand that your 2 dogs, Tori and Kia, played a role in the Beyond the Tank show, which you are on. You're on the season premiere on Beyond the Tank. What did Tori and Kia do?
Yeah, so we are on the season premiere of Beyond the Tank, and the dog, we filmed a lot of it in my house, which is where I work out of. So the dogs are there. They're always around, and they're real good guard dogs. So they're on the case. If somebody pulls up, they already see the car coming down the block. They're on guard, they're ready, and then, so they were filming. So Lori came one day to my house to film, and they wanted to capture it on camera, and you'll see it when you watch the show. So she pulls up in her car. My dogs are, already barking even before she pulls into the driveway, and the producers are like, what do we do with this? How are we going to film? Maybe somebody should take them out for a walk or something like that. But then they decided to keep it authentic, because depending, if my dogs sense something's wrong with you, they're not going to be nice to you. They're not mean, but they're not going to be very friendly when you walk into the house. But with Lori, they were great. They, I guess, got a good vibe from her. So they're barking. She pulls up to the house. She comes into the house. They're going even wilder. And but then they took a liking to her right away. So they ended up deciding to keep that. So you'll see that on the show. It's pretty
So
funny, actually.
sweet. I can't wait to see it. And she does seem like a very real girl, somebody who you could take home to family. So that's really nice to hear that that's real.
Yeah.
We are going to hold those thoughts because we're going to take a break from our sponsors. But when we come back, Stephen has a really great travel recommendation, dog-friendly vacation spot that he'll tell us about, and also how to win your own piece of Biaggi Luggage. We'll be right back.
Sit. Stay. We'll be right back, right after we kibble a little with our sponsors.
It's designerpetsweaters.com. Hand-knitted designer sweaters for your precious pup or cool cat. Beautiful couture patterns for your pets, including custom-knitted formal wear, casual wear, yachting, and even sports-themed. Many designer pet sweaters include feathered tammy hats, top hats, and a lot of sparkle. Each sweater includes leg loops, front paw sleeves, and leash opening. Visit designerpetsweaters.com to order your four-legged fashions today. Your pets will stay warm for the winter and be runway ready. Large or small, we fit them all. designerpetsweaters.com.
Are you having trouble getting the word out about your new pet product or invention? Let Whitegate PR open the gate to your marketing and public relations efforts. We've been specializing in public relations in the pet industry for over a decade. From press releases to media relations and publicity to pet trade shows and launch events to social media, the pet-friendly team at Whitegate PR has you covered. If you listen to the wise words of Bill Gates, he says, "If I had $1 left, I'd spend it on PR." Learn more at whitegatepr.com.
Let's talk pets
Let's talk pets
on Pet Life Radio.
Pet Life Radio.
PetLifeRadio.com.
Welcome back. You're listening to Bark and Swagger on Pet Life Radio. I'm your host, Jody Miller-Young, and we're here today with Stephen Hersh of Biaggi Luggage. Welcome back, Stephen.
Thank you.
So in addition to being a dad to 2 human children, you're also a great dad to Tori and Kia. And we've talked about how you like to travel and travel with your dogs when you can. There's one destination you visited with them recently that sounded really, really cool, and you were raving about it. Tell us about it.
Yeah, so I've gone on a couple of trips with my dogs, but the best one that I ever went on, hands down, was to Newport, Rhode Island, which is not a very far. I mean, I'm in Long Island, so it took us maybe about 3.5 hours to get there, which isn't bad at all by car, which is crucial. I've never flown with my dog, so for me, it's got to be driving distance. And we stayed in a hotel called the Vanderbilt Grace, which is a really beautiful hotel that allows dogs. And it's very pet-friendly. Like, when we got to the room, they even had, a whole tray of dog treats there for them. And it's very extremely, they love having dogs there. It's not just a place that allows it. It's really a part of the identity of the hotel. And Newport, Rhode Island, especially in the summertime, is an absolutely gorgeous place to go. It's a historic city, and they have so many things to do with your dogs.
Amazing. Tell us.
Yeah. So, for example, the biggest feature of Newport are these old mansions. They're really gorgeous mansions. There's, that nobody lives in anymore, but they use them as museums. And there's a walk called the Cliff Walk, which is a walk basically behind all the mansions, but along the water. The mansions were all built there on the water. And when I say mansions, I mean, these are palaces. I mean, to go inside them is just unbelievable. But you can walk with your dog along this path, which they have, that's made for walking, really. And you see loads of dogs along there, and it's by the water, so it's the summer, but there's still a really nice breeze over there. And the scenery is just incredible. And you have the water on one side, and then on the other side, you have these amazing homes, and you could see their gardens they preserve them so perfectly. That, for me, was like the highlight. And my dogs absolutely loved it, because they met so many dogs along the way over there also. So that's always fun.
Didn't you also say there were vineyards as well?
Yeah.
Are there vineyards near there?
Yeah, there are vineyards there. There are several vineyards there, and we went to a couple of vineyards. We took the dogs with us, and the dogs really loved it. I mean, I guess they love the smell. They love all that open land. I mean, these vineyards are built on vast properties, and they really enjoyed it. And vineyards also typically will have some dogs running around. The people who run it or own it, like the walk that we took with them. Whenever there are other dogs around, my dogs are happy.
Nice. It sounds wonderful. Now, your significant other is basically a modern day adventurer. She's also an actress, she's an author, and she's a fellow entrepreneur. Her name is Rachel Grant, and she has a travel show where she goes to all these exotic locations. Does her love of these more adventurous vacation spots impact the places you go together or with the dogs?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I've always loved to travel. Obviously, I've always loved my dog. And Rachel is a real dog lover. And she, like you said, is an adventurer and a traveler. And there's nothing better than combining so many different things that you enjoy doing. You know, going on vacation is great, but going away with your dogs, that's even better, right? Because you love your dogs, you love the trips, and you know, I mean,
Yes.
it's the greatest time. And whenever I go away without my dogs, I don't know if you feel the same way, but there's a little bit of feeling inside of me that I'm missing out. They're missing out. Obviously, I miss them, but you know, I also, you know, if I'm in a really nice place, there's nothing better than being there with my dogs. Also, and
Yeah.
I mean, Rachel's
I'm
like
always
that too.
worrying
So, I mean,
about them too. I'm always worrying, are they okay? And you know, and yes,
me too.
I totally,
Like I'm calling the dog sitter also.
Yeah. So what's the most exotic location you've been with Rachel?
We were in Nicaragua, which was amazing. And we were in this past summer because we really go away in the summer. That's the time that we go. So, like when we went to Rhode Island, it was in the summer. We went to Nicaragua, which was amazing, and we went to this past summer to the Pyrenees. We went to France, but like kind of an obscure part of France that people don't really go. Not like it's in the south, but it's in a different part of the south than where the tourists are. Put it this way, not many people spoke English where we were, but it was beautiful.
Nice. Sounds really gorgeous. So I know people are waiting to hear how they can win their own piece of Biaggi Luggage. You on the site, which I thought was really, really cool, you run these giveaways and tell people a little bit about how they can enter.
Yes, we're pretty big with the giveaways. We like to keep our customers and our followers and our fans engaged and part of the experience. So every month we give away 4 bags, and you could win one by either going to the website, signing up for our newsletter. If you're signed up for our newsletter, then you have a chance to win. But also, the best way to win, and we give you a little tip to your listeners over here, because we don't just pick people randomly. Yeah, we like to pick people who are really engaged. So if you go to any of our social media site, our Facebook, our Instagram, and we see somebody, you know, repeatedly liking our post and engaged with us, then you're more likely to win, put it that way, than if you're somebody who just, you know, liked our page or something.
A tip from the boss. Yeah, a tip from the boss, guys. So tell people how they can find you. What's your website URL and your social media?
So the website is Biaggi, that's BIAGGI.com. And then our Facebook is Biaggi Luggage. If you just go to Facebook and look for Biaggi Luggage, you'll find us. And our Twitter is @Biaggi Luggage, and our Instagram is Biaggi_Luggage. So there you have it.
Perfect. Stephen, we're out of time. I'm so sorry to say, because I've had such a good time talking with you. Thank you so much for being on the show.
So nice being here with you, Jody. Thank you so much for having me on.
Oh, pleasure. I'm entering, folks. I hope you are too. Thank you all for listening, and thanks to our producer, Mark Winter, who makes us sound so good. My passion is fashion and lifestyle, so tune in next time to discover the designers, styles, and home decor I love. And don't forget to visit me at barkandswagger.com, where you'll find great fashion and stories and more. So until next time, when fierce fashion calls, bark and swagger.
Let's Talk Pets, every week on demand, only on PetLifeRadio.com.